Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we are covering a very important topic. What's the topic? That we should never blaspheme the devotees. It's also the first offense to the chanting of the holy name. So, to the offense to the holy name is not to blaspheme a devotee. Right? To blaspheme a devotee who has dedicated their life to propagating the holy name of the Lord. That's the offense. And so we should never commit that offense. And so today we'll be visiting wonderful story, wonderful lessons, as well as sweet pastimes of the Lord and His devotees. Hare Krishna. Please join us for Jai Radha Madhav prayers. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari, Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. You are all welcome in today's class, and also we are seeking prayers from the global community of devotees for our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who is not well, and will definitely keep interested people aware of how things are progressing. So please join us for Mangalacharan prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam, Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiriyet, Shravatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtanaha, Hridayantasto hya bhadrani vidhunoti suhasatam Nashtaprayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavatir uttam shloke bhaktir bhavti naistiki. Hare Krishna. So today we will be covering a very important verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 4, verse 68. And who's speaking? Lord Vishnu himself is speaking, and he is speaking to an exalted Brahmana. And what does he speak? So again, please join us in the recitation of this verse. Hare Krishna Devi, have we shared the link?
Yes, Prabhuji, I have just shared the link.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, please join us in the recitation of this verse. Sadhavo hridayam mahayam sadhunam hridayam tvaham man anyate na jananti naham tebhyo managapi. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The pure devotee is always within the core of my heart, and I am always in the core of the pure devotee. My devotees do not know anything else but me, and I do not know anyone else but them. Hare Krishna. Please join us for Guru Pranati. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatadaham Vande Shri Gurum Dina Taranam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So, we should avoid all kind of offenses, even janaprad, as we understand, even to general populace. Why commit offenses? Because offenses, aparad, means against Radharani. And if we are against the Supreme Mother, how can our Supreme Father be happy? And here Lord Krishna, Vishnu himself is revealing to who? Durvasa Muni, yes. And I'll give you a gist of this story. Ekadashi, right? We all Vaishnavas love celebrating, means again observing Ekadashi. Ekadashi is the Bhakti Janani. So this special days, the festive days in our lives, and Ekadashi occurs every fortnight. And on this day there is a beautiful story. So what happens is that in Vrindavan, Amrish Maharaj, he was observing Ekadashi, and right before he was about to break, suddenly Durvasa Muni appears. And Durvasa Muni, when he travels with his 10,000 disciples. And so here in this particular instant, what happens is Durvasa Muni has come, so Amrish Maharaj immediately stops, welcomes Durvasa Muni and asks him to honor prasadam. At that time, Durvasa Muni says, I'll go and get ready, let me take bath and be clean, then I will definitely come and join. He goes to take bath, and by the time he is coming back, at this particular time, what has happened? The Muhurt is passing, the time to break the fast is passing. So the Brahmanas, taking the advice from the Brahmanas and the Rishis, Amrish Maharaj, he decides to take water, because water is known to break the fast, as well as not break the fast. So again, it is on our dharana, it is all in the mind. So again, from that particular perspective. So he decides to take little water so that not to commit any offenses to Durvasa Muni, yet at the same time obey the regulations, rules and regulations of breaking Ekadashi timely, not to commit any offense to the lordship also. So he takes little water, but as soon as Durvasa Muni comes with his yogic power, he comes to know that Amrish Maharaj has broken his fast, he has eaten before me. That's what he thinks immediately, jumping to conclusion. We should never be judgmental. This is another lesson we hear, that as Durvasa Muni jumps to conclusion in his anger. So what? Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajoguna Samudbhava. Even though Durvasa Muni is expansion of Lord Shiva, he is angered very easily and he is pleased very easily too. So he is angered immediately. He picks up a matted lock from his hair, throws it on the ground. A great demon appears. And now he says that he blasphemes, face to face, he is blaspheming Ambrish Maharaj to be a non-Vaishnava, to be a non-devotee, and to be a pretender. And so he says, I will destroy you for having pretended in this manner. And so, as the demon is approaching Ambrish Maharaj, suddenly Sudarshan appears. And Sudarshan is, of course, here to protect the devotee and immediately destroys the demon. But Sudarshan has very amazing quality. Sudarshan. It is very pleasing to the devotees, and it reveals the purpose, the meanings of things, the rasas. And so Sudarshan is known to also destroy the cause of the trouble. And in this case, cause was none other than Durvasa Muni. So it chases after Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni is saying that Sudarshan is trying to kill me. He runs and he goes to Brahmalok, he goes to Shivlok, he goes to all of the places, but he is not able to get rid. His back is scorching. The scorching heat of Sudarshan is burning him. And he goes to finally Vishnu Loka. And there he requests Lord Vishnu. And so Lord Vishnu gives this response that I am completely bought by devotees. And I am in their heart. They know nothing else but me, and I know nothing else but them. I am in their heart. So now you have to take shelter of my devotee to be forgiven from this offense that you have committed. And finally Durvasa Muni comes back to Ambrish Maharaj and he pays obeisances, asking for forgiveness. And Ambrish Maharaj, for a whole year Durvasa Muni had been running around. Ambrish Maharaj has not taken a single piece of grain. So again he is still waiting for Durvasa Muni, and Durvasa Muni comes. And at that time, Ambrish Maharaj glorifies Sudarshan and requests that Sudarshan to forgive Durvasa Muni and let go. And at that time, Durvasa Muni gets up and he glorifies Ambrish Maharaj. So here there is a Kshatriya. From the external perspective, it appears like there is a Brahmana and there is a Kshatriya. Brahmanas are the spiritual masters, Kshatriyas are the administrators. Yet at the same time, if a Kshatriya is a Vaishnava, whoever is a Vaishnava is actually a greater position because he is spiritually situated. He transcends the three modes of material nature. While a Brahmana, a Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, from carrying out their prescribed duties, are still carrying out as per the modes of material nature. So in this regard, Srila Prabhupada, he has given some very nice examples. Sometimes in his letters he would cover. So in a letter to my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, on April 21st, 1970, he wrote a very important aspect. Blaspheming of a Vaishnava. What does Srila Prabhupada write? He writes that you are always alert to see whether you are committing some offense. This is a very nice attitude. In rendering service to Lord Krishna and his representative, the spiritual master, you should always maintain this fearful attitude, which means careful attention. This attitude will advance you progressively in Krishna consciousness. Right there is a blessing. That when we are careful, we are very attentive as to our actions, and actions are performed by mind, body and words. Then we are not committing offenses, not even thinking, even negative, blaspheming, even in our mind. That should be the attitude. And similarly, Srila Prabhupada had earlier written a letter to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. And His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he received this letter that was written on August 19th of 1968. And so, in this letter, Srila Prabhupada writes, now that you have come to my house today, I have become glorified. So, my life has become completely successful. To be able to see a Vaishnava is as rare as the good fortune of seeing Sri Hari. So Vaishnavas are the representatives of the Lord, and this is important. He continues to write, I must have acquired immense piety, huge as the Meru mountain. That's why I got to see a great Vaishnava like you. And this is a reference from Hari Bhakti Vilas 10.337338. And so Srila Prabhupada sometimes quotes the Shastras to identify. So there are various quotes in Hari Bhakti Vilas. One of the quote is, when one blasphemes a Vaishnava, he loses his religiosity, wealth, fame and children. So there are so many examples. Suruchi, she pushed Dhruv Maharaj, and Dhruv Maharaj was not even recognized at that time as a Vaishnava. And this is a Janaprad, and even then that offense caused her son Uttam, when he grew up, to be burned in the forest, to be killed by a Yaksha, and she going to the forest, to see the dead body of her son, she was burned in the forest fire. So even here we have to be very, very careful, my dear devotees. We have to be very careful when dealing with Vaishnava. And so if you can think of any such example, please write in the comments. Where have we seen an example where the devotees have been blasphemed, but at the same time it fires back on the person who is blaspheming the devotees? Now, there are various kind of blasphemies of a Vaishnava. That has also been given in Harinam Chintamani. And Harinam Chintamani, this response is given by none other than Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur on the inquiry of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what are the 4 kinds of blasphemy to a Vaishnava? Somebody could ask you that. So first one is to find fault with a Vaishnava for his apparent low birth. Sometimes people, they look at one's birth and try to disqualify. In today's time, we could see that when somebody gets higher education or higher post, nobody cares about what birth or what place they are born. Yet at the same time, when it comes to the community gatherings, people try to see, oh, this guy is a Marwari Baniya. Oh, this person is from a Brahmana family. He is born in a Brahman family. Oh, this person, he's carrying out. So this caste system is evil. Because Lord Krishna never says that birth is a qualification to be properly situated in one of the 4 varnas. He clearly says in Bhagavad Gita, Chatu varna maya shishtam guna karma vibhagasha. So the 4 varnas are based on guna, which is the modes of material nature. So the kind of tendency, the work we tend to do naturally, and karma, what kind of occupational duties we perform. So when we heard this, means when we got the realization, we immediately became teachers, because that's what we are, Brahmana. Otherwise, previously we were IT professionals, and IT professionals happened to be in Shudra state. Yet at the same time, we became even better by realizing that it doesn't matter which particular varna you belong, because all varnas are in the modes of material nature. Better is to become Vaishnava. So that is further higher state. Even a Shudra who is a Vaishnava is greater than a Brahmana. And to blaspheme a Vaishnava for his previous faults. Okay, in the past some mistake happens. But Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says that a Vaishnava will quickly, his devotee will quickly regain his position. Or accidental faults, that's the 3rd kind. To blaspheme a Vaishnava for the accidental fault. So, human is mistakes happen. And sometimes people use that to blaspheme a Vaishnava. That's also Vaishnava Aparadh. And last but not the least is to blaspheme a Vaishnava for the faults that are almost rectified. So yes, a mistake happens, but a Vaishnava is completely rectified, but they keep going back. That's called rubbing in the face. They keep going back to that incident, something that had happened, even though it has been corrected now, but they keep going back to push someone down. That is not a desirable attitude. Now, what to do if one commits Vaishnava Aparadh? Vaishnava Aparadh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, is a mad elephant disease. It doesn't just destroy your Bhakti Lata Bij. A mad elephant enters your garden and will destroy everything. It doesn't just destroy our devotional service, the results of that, but also completely annihilates our existence. So it can be very severe. But if by mistake one commits Vaishnava Aparadh, then he must be seeking forgiveness from that Vaishnava, very earnestly holding his feet. So just call out, my dear Prabhu, please forgive me for my offense, knowingly or unknowingly I may have performed. And a Vaishnava is very merciful. He doesn't take any offense and he immediately forgives the other party. So this is also coming from Harinam Chintamani by Srila Namacharya Haridas Thakur, who is revealing this. And Srila Prabhupada gives a beautiful example that one person, someone can bear some heat on their head, but they cannot bear the heat on their feet. So similarly, Lord Krishna, when he is blaspheming, he doesn't mind so much because he knows that people are committing these offenses in ignorance. But if somebody commits an offense to his devotee, he becomes very serious. He immediately chastises them. And that's why we see the state of even Durvasa Muni. He was so powerful that he was able to enter Vishnu Loka. He was able to have face-to-face conversation with Lord Vishnu. Yet he could only be saved by the mercy of a devotee. And so we have so many examples. Prahlad Maharaj, his father Hiranyakashipu was constantly trying to kill Prahlad. He was constantly chastising Prahlad. But Prahlad Maharaj, he was so pure in his heart, he never took it seriously. He was always thinking that his father is joking with him. He's just testing how good a devotee he is. Prahlad Maharaj is simply carrying out his devotional service, and so he is glorified for his smaranam, for his remembrance of the Lordship. He is one of the Mahajanas. And so if you can remember of any other personality, please share in the comments. We can make mistakes, yet at the same time we should always rectify it. And Vaishnavas are very merciful. They forgive us as well as they bless us. So this should be the attitude. There are so many wonderful incidents they come to our remembrance. Shaubhuri Muni, he actually gave curse to Garud when he would come to the Yamuna lake in Yamuna to get fish. And Shaubhuri Muni, who was actually meditating underwater so that he doesn't get affected by the material nature, for giving curse to a Vaishnava, he fell down because Garud was not within the paradigm of that curse. Garud's natural food is fish and snakes. So he did not mind, he still respected. Yet at the same time, he took a big fish which was one of the leaders of those fishes in the lake, and Shaubhuri Muni cursed him. So we see those curses. We also see so many times that knowingly, unknowingly, somebody may misinterpret, right? Pandavas were constantly offended. And what happened to those who offended Pandavas? We all know what happened to those. They were completely annihilated. So the Dhritarashtra and his sons, they completely were baffled in their attempt to rule and usurp the kingdom of the Pandavas. And there are so many more examples. Please, dear devotees, feel free to share in the comments. And now, realizing that we have to be very, very careful in our dealings. Why commit Vaishnava Aprad? Why even commit Janaprad? Why even commit offense to general populace? We should always be grateful for all the blessings we have received. Always be merciful to everyone who has come to us. If someone is not so well in the material world, what happens? If someone is junior to us in material world, people exploit juniors. They have envious competitive relationship with the peers, and then they are looking at the seniors and trying to usurp their position, somehow get to that position. That is material world. In the case of a devotee wants to engage in Vaishnava Seva, Sadhu Sangha Vaishnava Seva. So again, we want to serve the seniors so that we get blessed by them. We want to have loving relationship with our peers, and also we are compassionate towards our juniors who are advancing slowly and slowly on their path. And this is like helping them helps us by making Krishna happy. A father becomes happy when his son helps another son. Hare Krishna. So understanding this important aspect and not to commit any offense to the holy name, let us take with Dhrana Vrata, with strong determination not to commit such offenses, but rather constantly engage in reading Srila Prabhupada's books, constantly engage with Nama Ruchi, constantly engage in Vaishnava Seva and Jiva Daya. Hare Krishna. Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhagavad ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitaya Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.